I decided to have a look at the Rosary and the mysteries. So this is the first glorious mystery, the resurrection. I channeled a fair bit of anger into this one. They went to the tomb but did not find his body. The top bit there is quite similar to the one I drew for Neith. This idea of a bunch of heads looking through a window, and that's the cave maybe, the tomb. Leading up to that cave is what looks like a long spine, also has faces within it. So there's a couple of beings all around on the left hand side here, quite dark and shadowy. One of them down below, red head, shooting fire out of their mouth, almost like massaging the neck of that person that we're looking at. So there's this close up. One of the heads is turned to the side looking at that person with the spine. I actually think their head is turned to the side as well. And I can see either a face or a bird top right. Actually, multiple faces now I look closer, all going down in a row on both sides. About halfway down, one of those ends up looking a bit like a rooster. Feels quite shamanic. Top right, I see a face, almost a bit like it's covered in a mask there with the white. And this sort of depiction of like a devilish creature in the side of the head, which links back to Lucifer. And then there's this sort of fiery person, almost again like a baby, this person with a mask is holding. To the left of this creature, that is actually more like a totem pole that's shooting fire to the first person's neck. Sometimes when I look at this, I see a bull with horns, and other times just a normal face. So near the bottom on the left, I see a red person, very spectrally, reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood. Maybe a goat on their head. To the right of that, just the hair of a girl, and then what looks like a foot pointing right at us. And then a couple of figures on the right looking out over. One looks like it's much bigger here, bottom right, like a snake in front of them. And then above them, someone with a pointy nose looking out. I also thought that looked like a dove at first. I've also just seen, within the dark circle that goes the whole way round, that is a bit like a Q or an omega symbol. And it's got two heads top left. So it's maybe I am the alpha omega thing, beginning and an end. And the shape of that window this time looks a bit like a pig or a boar. I really like this one. I know some people won't. All this red fiery energy tends to scare people a little bit. I tend to see this idea of resurrection as like rebirth after an initiation process, after the person's been to hell and back. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.